What's going on, everyone?
It's good to see you.
How are you doing?
Thank you. Good. I'm doing good.
So what brings you out here today?
I'm making the content.
Yeah. So, what is the rollout of this series going to be like?
Okay. Hopefully I get this right. 5 episodes go up because what you guys saw was all, well, I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was all strung together. But 5 episodes will go up on CW Seed today. They're probably live maybe right now. And then soon there will be a full movie release, both on DVD and iTunes and VOD. And then shortly after that, the rest of the episodes will come back to CWC to complete the full episodic run.
And then how long is the total?
The total runtime of the movie, because there's additional content on the DVD.
Okay.
So 90 some odd minutes, 80 some odd minutes, something around there. Yeah, so it's a full movie.
What kind of continuity does this show? Does it match like the continuity of the TV series, or is it a completely different beast?
It's a different beast. I mean, it's Constantine at its core, but you know, the freedom that we have in animation, the tone, the sensibility is different than the broadcast show. And also the scale, you know, that's why I love animation, because we can do so much. It's all drawings, it's all imagination. We don't have to have anything that's practical or CG or anything. It's so you could even see, you know, it's like there's a swimming pool filled with rotting bodies. That's tough to do. Well, in NBC it's really tough to do, but you know, on even any kind of live action, it's tough. So
I gotta ask you this. I'm a big fan of the character, John Constantine, and you know, one of the things that he's famous for, he smokes a lot, or a chain smoker. But I noticed when I watch him in Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and Justice League Dark, whenever he tries to light up, something happens that prevents him.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's tough. Well, there's a lot of restrictions around it. There's a lot of restrictions around smoking. I mean, some broadcast standards and practices will have nobody ever allowed to smoke.
Really?
Yeah, so it's grandfathered in with the character, and he's a semi-self-destructive character, you know, so it's kind of, we were able to thread the needle a little bit, but we tried. You know, he smokes in the animation, but what we did a lot of is cutting around and seeing him put it out, or seeing it in the ashtray and things like that, you know, because I mean, first of all, kids probably shouldn't be watching this. It's pretty dark and messed up. But if they are, I don't know what's going to be more damaging, the eviscerating and the decapitation, or seeing somebody smoking a cigarette. But I mean, that's not for me to call, so.
They can actually do the smoking. Hopefully they won't do the other on their own, right?
Yes, exactly.
So.
We hope.
Is there any particular art from the comics that is adapted into the series?
Yes. Some of the demons, some of the way that the magic is treated, and the way that VFX is realized, we took right from the comics, you know, because I particularly was always a fan, and of certainly the director Butch, and a lot of the storyboard artists are also fans, so they're very familiar with the material. So it's very important for us on the animation side to do right by the character and to kind of have that continuity with the books.
So because this is a separate continuity with Constantine, do you pull from any of the other existing stuff, like some of his Legends, some of his NBC show, Justice League Dark? Or
No, it's more the publishing route.
Okay.
It's more the publishing route. It's more of those classic stories. I mean, this is based on the classic graphic novel. We went back to the original Alan Moore introduction and Swamp Thing and looked at that. A couple of years ago, we had done a full-length animated film called Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we cracked the character of Constantine in the animated kind of continuity, you know. And it was interesting because, you know, Batman is helping, or Justice League Dark is actually helping Batman in that film. So it's how he relates to Batman is really interesting because, you know, Batman is a little, when it comes to the supernatural, he's like, I don't know. And then you have a character that's nothing but the supernatural, so it makes them both, you know, kind of confront things that they're maybe not so comfortable with. So, and Matt playing off the voice actors in Justice League Dark was great. So I think we kind of knew then, like, oh, this is particularly well suited to animation because of the epicness of it.
So with Constantine and I think Vixen, right? That's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So will there be any other live action characters that's gonna get animated? Maybe Ollie or?
I hope so. Yeah, I think we're thinking about it now.
Like a standalone series kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah, we're thinking about it now. You know, Vixen was interesting for us. That was kind of the test case. You know, when we made sure that hey, let's cast the voice actress, and just in case it migrates live action, because it doesn't usually go that way for us. It usually starts on the series and then we say, oh great, let's do an animated version of this, and then we reach out to the actor or actress and say, hey, would you want to do the voice? But Vixen was the other way around, so we cast Megalyn knowing that, oh, there might be an opportunity for her to go actually jump into the live action role, which she did, and they actually used her on the show to play that role, which was fantastic. So when we went into Freedom Fighters, the Ray, we cast Russell knowing that he will take part in the crossover. I don't know if you guys saw that giant kind of crossover. We knowing that he was going to play that role. So now moving forward, I think we kind of have our eye on that. Like, well, there is this possibility, so let's have let's have all that ready to go just in case. But you never know. You never know.
Was there any worry that fans of the live action series might be disappointed that there's a completely different Chaz in this version of the story?
Yeah, you know, we're always thinking about that, but this, you know, what can you do? Look, Matt does a great job, and it's not just because he's right over there, but there are times where there's an actor or actress that has played the character live action, and then we bring them into the booth to do VO, and it doesn't work. And it's unfortunate because you want it to work so bad. Because even in our minds, that's the character. That's the way the character looks. It's also the reason why we typically don't do likenesses. Like, you know, our Constantine, the animated series, kind of looks like Matt. But it's not a caricature. For that reason, that you don't want to make that connection because it's a little, for me, it's a little hard to have that suspension of disbelief a little bit. But there have been times where, you know, we're in the booth and we're looking around at each other on the production side like, oof, this is going to be awkward when we say, well, thanks, but we're going another direction. Because for the actress and actress, they're like, what are you talking about? That's me. I'm the character. It's like, not this time, you're not. So luckily it worked out with Matt. And right away we knew, oh, it's great. Because the performance is different. It's bigger. It's got to be a little more lively because you don't have all of the subtleties of facial acting and the subtleties of live action acting with animated characters, you know, so the voice work has to be even more in animation.
Are there any limitations for the animated stuff? Like, I know none of the big three are allowed in, like, the Berlanti verse, but, like, if you're like, can we play with Superman a little bit, do you get any pushback?
Yeah, that's what we do with DC. We go back and forth all the time. We're like, we're going to put, you know, Nightwing, and he's going to have roller skates and a whistle and a glow stick. And they're like, no, you're not. We're like, all right, how about this? So, but, you know, we work I mean, they're all good friends of mine. So we work very closely together. We have a lot of respect for each other. So it doesn't come up as often as you think because we kind of know all the ground rules now. We know where all this is heading. So we try to like stay in the right lane and have it be additive, you know. But Vixen was a good example because Sam Register, Jeff Johns, myself, a bunch of other people kind of sat together with Mark Guggenheim and Berlanti and thought like, well, if we were going to do this character, who could it be? Who haven't we seen before? Certainly a female, certainly a diverse character, certainly something that would be very difficult to do live action. And Vixen is that because, you know, she can create these totems and all this other stuff. So again, very well suited for animation. So that was kind of the lane that we took there. But it was like a decision we all made together. Because there's some characters that you think like, well, it's not going to get us much to animate that character because it's like a person walking around their own world. I mean, it's fun, but it's not like Vixen, you know, or something, or Plastic Man, you know, so.
Is there, I don't know if this was asked earlier, apologies if it was, but since the live-action Constantine is moving towards incorporating Spectre, incorporating other elements, will this animated series have the opportunity to start incorporating?
If we do more, I think we will lean into that part of the DCU. I think, you know, what that will entail, I don't know yet, but I think yes, because that's kind of part of Justice League Dark. you know, there is, like the way I think about it anyway, there is that part of the DCU that's the magic and supernatural part that's really interesting, because also it crosses over into Vertigo a little bit. You know, it gets a little, well, not anymore, but it, you know, it used to. So that's interesting to me personally. So,
Is there anything dropped in season 1 that might hint to what might happen in the future if you get more episodes?
no, not really, because, you know, when we went into this, we weren't really thinking like that. And it's also, again, based on this source material, so... But all those characters, you know, and I think we made sure to keep legacy Constantine villains, too. They're kind of always his antagonists, you know. So, like Nergal, and like he's been around. That's a continuity character, so he's been torturing Constantine for years, so...
Are there any deep bench characters that you want to play with?
Always. Yeah. I mean, personally, or... yeah. Look, I love Dr. Fate. I'm a huge Dr. Fate fan in all the different incarnations, so we'll see, you know, but I always have loved Dr. Fate. A lot of people say, well, he's got a helmet, so it's hard for people to relate to the character, but, you know, I don't think, Spider-Man, I don't think that's really true, so, you know, I love Dr. Fate. And that kind of DCU, supernatural kind of thing, Spectre is great, you know. Yeah, but I love Dr. Fate, so.
What is Constantine? What do you think it is about this character that is connected? Because it really has been growing.
Yeah,
anything
I know.
Since the show was on the air. What do you think it is about Constantine?
I think it's the anti-hero. People love the anti-hero, and that he presents as this kind of jaded, cynical, kind of detached character, but the way he's been written, the way that Matt has portrayed him, you can tell he's not, that he is invested and he is good, but he's trying to project that, and I think people can really identify with that, you know. At least that's my interpretation. I'm not the writer, but time to all right, thanks everyone.
Thanks.